Hello, everyone. Thank you all of you for joining this free webinar on Azure Data Engineers. We have seen a huge, tremendous increase with the Azure Data Engineering jobs, right? And because we are seeing everywhere nowadays AI, artificial intelligence. We are talking about the data scientist, and we are talking about the organizations really struggling to meet the customer expectations. The organizations continuously facing challenges. Okay, what can we deliver to our customers? Where can we increase our sales? What is working, what is not working. So in order to take all these decisions in a practical way, everybody needs the data. Without the data, we cannot take any decision from the experience. I cannot take based on the authority. The decisions needs to be a data-driven decisions. So the data is playing a significant key role, and for the artificial intelligence, for AI and the BI, for all these people, they need the data. Now they need people who can supply the data is coming from various sources. We are using the data. So I'm just doing my transfer this morning, and then I went to the supermarket. I tapped there. So the data is generating. Lakshmi is spending somewhere in Amazon and spending in the supermarket spending. So we need to have the organizations. They want to analyze my spending patterns, and they want to come up with some good suggestions. So we need engineers who can pull all this data and who can transform data, who can act as a bridge, who can act as a bridge, as like a plumber, like preparing a pipeline between your water tank and to your houses. So similarly, organizations are looking for a qualified engineers who can bring the data, understand the data, whether it is a structured or unstructured data, and then feed them to the respective departments. And then those people, they will be using that data according to their own needs. That's why you are seeing a huge raise, exponential rise with the demand of the Azure data engineering, whether it is from Australia or UK, India, across the world, which we are going to very see. Good morning from my side. Thank you all of you for joining this quick webinar. The webinar is going to be up. Sorry, I just forgot to turn on. The webinar will be on understanding what is this Azure data engineering, what's the kind of demand we have to meet that demand, what skills we all need to have for this data engineering. Okay, my name is Lakshmi. I have seen at least good number of people who are not my students. Just for your information, I have 24 years of experience in IT, and I'm currently working as a director for the hands-on agile coaching company. This company is based in Australia, and we provide the hands-on trainings. So we do the DevOps, data engineering, and we also do the Scrum Master, Product Owner, and the Power BI, manual testing. All these trainings completely we provide with a dedicated support and also the CV, LinkedIn, and everything. And with that continuous support, a lot of people they are getting good opportunities. Okay, and but I was talking about the demand for this one. For example, in some of you joined from Australia, if you see the Azure Data Engineer, this is a seek. Just refresh, and you will be seeing the data engineer here and the data engineer, because most of the Australian organizations they already had the collaboration with the Microsoft. The cloud version of the Microsoft is Azure, and they need the skilled data engineers. And you can see all these are 1 day ago, 1 day ago, 2 days ago, like this. And on a similar way, if you go to the LinkedIn, just type for Azure Data Engineer, not a DevOps, Azure Data Engineer, and then type enter. So Azure Engineer, you're going to see all these jobs. So now let us understand more about this. What is this Azure Data Engineer all about? What exactly the Azure Data Engineers will do, and how the real life of an Azure Data Engineer looks like. So now I'm going to introduce Vamshi to all of you. Vamshi is very good, technically sound guy, and he's currently working as an artificial intelligence scientist in Microsoft. So he's joining us today with us to help us understand how the life of Azure Data Engineer is going to look like. What are all the different sources? What is the structured data, unstructured data, and how we feed the information. And the interesting part is he's going to demonstrate in live the actual activities of the Azure Data Engineer. Without wasting further time, let me introduce Vamshi. Hello, Vamshi. Oh, I muted all of you. Vamshi, let me make you the presenter, and I want you to take the stage over. Please, just 1 minute. I'm making you a Vamshi here. Um, you are the host.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you,
Vamshi.
Lakshmi Garu.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, sir.
Vamshi, for joining us here. Yep. So, Vamshi, all over. So you can share your screen. You
Fine.
can introduce about yourself, Vamshi.
All right. So, hi everyone. Hello. And this is Vamshi here, and I will be your host for today, and we'll discuss about Azure Data Engineer. So, before this, let me introduce you about myself. So, I'm working in this field for almost all 16 plus years. Actually, I'm working as an AI scientist here at Microsoft. And overall, all these years, I've been working for different Fortune 500 clients across the globe here, implemented different architecture level positions actually on the data. Now, uh, okay, so let me not boast about myself. Now, I will discuss about Azure Data Engineer in simple words, okay, or simple terms. I'll make you understand what exactly a data engineer performs his role and what are the difference between a data engineer. Of course, today we are discussing about the other kind of popular data roles like data scientist, AI engineer, machine learning engineer. Okay, so you have all these different kinds of roles, right? Now, what is the difference between a data engineer and those kind of roles exactly? So we'll discuss all these things in detail. And in simple words, I'll tell you what exactly is the nature of job of a data engineer. Okay, so what kind of skill set you need to possess. And again, so what are the advantage of cloud or while we'll be learning Azure cloud, why not AWS cloud or any other kind of cloud here? All right. So we'll learn, I mean, okay, so we'll discuss all these things in detail today. Fine. All right. Okay, so before this, I just want to understand from your side. So, I mean, is any one of you working from BI background, business intelligence, or any kind of ETL kind of roles? Any one of you?
Oh, sorry, Vamshi. I think we need to unmute people, and then
Okay,
if
no
they
problem, no
can
problem.
say. But I think we can
Fine,
go
fine.
for it.
Okay, so I'll carry on with this. No problem.
Uh, okay, let me make you the host as well, Vamshi. I think I can make you the co-host here. Just 1 minute here. Okay, Vamshi, can you please share your screen now?
Yes. All right. Okay. So fine. Thank you, guys, everyone. And once again, so let us start off with this data engineering stuff here. I'll tell you two popular definitions. Okay, so which are the popular definitions? But again, let me tell you, you'll not even understand anything from these definitions. But these are the, I mean, popular stuff here. But I'll put everything in as simple words as possible. Okay. Now, if you take the definition from this Wikipedia, right? Okay, which is a popular kind of source. Okay, so they say that data engineering refers to the building of systems to enable the collection and usage of data. So this data is usually used to enable subsequent analysis and data science, so which often involves machine learning. Making the data usable usually involves substantial compute and storage, as well as data processing and cleaning. So this is one kind of definition. If you look at this definition, right, so it states that there is something which you collect the data from different sources, so where you perform some kind of analysis like data science, okay, so which you often use in some kind of machine learning kind of stuff here. Okay, so which also requires some kind of substantial compute and storage as well. Okay, so the other kind of activities are data processing and cleaning kind of things. Now, let us put aside all of this kind of things here. Fine. So even before this one, let us try to understand the data perspective. So what is data basically, and how many formats today it is being getting generated here? Okay. Now, as per the data generation, right now today we are dealing with different kinds of data, different formats of data. So as per the data generation, data is classified into different types here, structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured kind of data. Let me even show you that. Fine. So if you look at this, structured data, what do you mean by this? Structured data is some kind of format which already has some kind of format here. For example, the data which you store it in some kind of table format. Okay, so in a table. So data there is stored in some neatly defined rows and columns format. Even if you look at your Excel spreadsheet, you have cells, right? Okay, so rows, columns, we call it as. Okay, so already data has a predefined structure there. Fine. And what is the kind of data that is stored here? So it is very simple data. So you can see some kind of text, numbers, and some kind of dates, kind of things here. So this is what the data we generally store in this kind of format here. But on the other hand, if you look at a semi-structured kind of data, semi-structured data is something which resembles some patterns of structured and unstructured kind of format. For example, so if you take your web pages like XML, HTML, okay, so all these are examples of semi-structured data, which are also a part of unstructured kind of data. Now, what is unstructured data here? So this is very, very important, guys. Unstructured data doesn't has any kind of structure here. For example, it can take any kind of form. So, for example, let's say you have your notepad, right? Okay, so text file, which we call it as. So, this is a perfect example of unstructured kind of data. So, do you think that it has any kind of structure here? I can write anything here. Fine. So, it doesn't has any kind of structure here. And again, similarly, your email data, your messaging platforms. Today, we are dealing with n number of messaging platforms, right? Like, say, for example, it could be WhatsApp, it could be Telegram, or it could be Hike or anything. Fine. And again, some kind of document kind of data. It could be some kind of PDF documents or any other kind of format. Okay, so it doesn't has any kind of structure there. Social media data, IoT kind of data. So now today, everyone is okay. So has some kind of smart devices with them, right? Okay, so it could be some kind of smartphones or smart watches or smart devices like your TVs, refrigerators, everything. Okay, so those are some kind of IoT kind of data. Again, we're dealing with image kind of data, audio data, video kind of data. Okay, so all these are the perfect examples of unstructured data. And let me tell you guys, you search for something over Google. Okay, so you're there, the data is getting generated. You shop. Okay, so on some kind of apps here. Okay, so over some kind of e-commerce portals like Amazon. Okay, so any kind of things here, fine. So again, data is getting generated. So in unstructured kind of format. Likewise, now the data is exponentially getting generated in different formats here. Now, why we are discussing this one is now this is where you people are employed actually. All right. Because see, who is going to deal this unstructured data? Okay. How do you even tap in this kind of data? Where do you store this huge amounts of data? Now, huge amounts of data, when I speak this kind of keyword, right? Let me tell you, it is not in GBs or TBs, guys. So data is getting generated in zettabytes of data. But how to handle such huge volumes of data? Where do you store the data? So today, what are the data we are able to handle as in petabytes of data? All right. So let me tell you from Gartner, which you take it Gartner, right? Okay. So which is one of the popular IT consulting firms across the globe. So it do the research activities in different areas of this domain. And as per their research, right? So they told that what the amount of data that is being getting generated in this kind of format, structure kind of format across the globe through different kinds of sources. Okay, it amounts to only 20%. Now, what about the rest 80%? That is into unstructured kind of format. Fine. So unstructured format now. Okay. So now where do you handle, how do you handle this data? Where do you store this data? So that is very, very important, guys. So because I mean, see, this is what has given rise to some kind of keyword called as big data. Now you might have heard about big data, right? Every one of you, big data. Okay. So in order to deal with that thing, again, we do have different frameworks there. So that is different. But this is some kind of difference between structured and unstructured kind of data. Now, why we are discussing this one is so as a data engineer, you will be dealing with all this kind of stuff here in real world scenarios because it's not the traditional kind of methodologies where you, okay, so deal with only table kind of data or some kind of regular Excel files kind of thing. So data can come in different formats here. I'll tell you what are the different kinds of formats you people will be working in real world scenarios. Now, this was about the data here. Now, after this, let me tell you the popular, I mean, traditional way of handling the data or extracting the data, processing the data, and again, so analyzing the data. So that is what we call it as a data warehouse architecture. data warehouse architecture. So this is a three-tier data warehouse architecture. This is the traditional methodology of extracting the data, processing the data, analyzing the data. Now, let me tell you what happens here, and I'll relate it with a real-time example here. All right. So, for example, so in the left-hand section, you can see something called as the data sources, right? So these are the data sources which resides in different formats here. For example, this data, you assume it to be some kind of SQL data, which is stored in a table format. And this kind of data, you could assume it to be some kind of CRM, ERP kind of data sources. And these are some kind of file sources. Fine. So now what we do generally in real world scenarios is as a data engineer, right? You extract data from different kinds of data sources. You actually, okay, so integrate all such kind of data and one single, repository, we call it as, okay, so called as staging database or staging area also people call it as data staging, we call that. Now, what the purpose of this staging area is? It serves for different kinds of activities. For example, the first thing is now you're integrating different kinds of data here. Data would be of different types here. Fine. Now, one such thing is you have to again process this kind of data, right? That means you have to transform this data. Before you load the data into this data warehouse, you have to transform this data. Now, what do you mean by transformation here? Transformation involves data cleansing, okay, so data munging, data wrangling kind of activities. Now, let me tell you guys, when you're dealing with data in real world scenarios is data could contain a lot of discrepancies. Okay, so let me tell you what are those things. Now, it might contain some kind of duplicates as well. So you have to remove those duplicates. It might contain some kind of missing values. So you have to remove those missing kind of values, or you could again go with some other kind of stuff there. So likewise, oftenly what happens is you might have to join some kind of data sources, or you might to come up with some kind of filtering kind of activities. You have to filter the data there. Or sometimes what happens is, for example, if you're having some kind of sales figures with you, you have to perform some kind of aggregations of the data there. All right. So likewise, it involves a lot of transformation activities here. So data might contain different date values also. So some of the date values would not be proper. So we have month, date, and year kind of format. So some would be date, month, and year kind of format. So we, like say for example, parse those kind of dates there. Okay. So likewise, so a lot of data transformation activities are involved here. So once the data is done, okay, so with all the transformation kind of activities, then finally what you do, you load the data into this enterprise data warehouse. Fine. So what is the purpose of loading this enterprise, data into this enterprise data warehouse? So that this kind of data could be again used for some kind of analysis, different kinds of analysis. So for example, a data analyst would be, okay, so using this data in order to come up with some kind of reports, dashboards, everything. For example, you might be you might have heard about certain kind of activities, right? Like reports, dashboards, everything. Okay. So for example, I just want to know what were the sales of my organization or particular retail store or whatsoever it is last week and this week. Or it could be like I want to compare last quarter, this quarter sales year, or last year and this year sales year. Okay. So likewise, I want to make some kind of analysis out of it. So this is what as the traditional data warehouse architecture. Fine. Now everything is fine here. Okay. So now you have extracted data from different kinds of data sources here. Okay. So again, you have transformed the data here. You perform the loading activities here. So so we call them as some kind of ETL kind of activities. All right. ETL. ETL. So it stands for extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay, extraction, transformation, and loading. Okay, so this is the ETL kind of, architecture. Extraction, transformation, and loading. So ETL stands for, so you extract the data from different kinds of data formats here. But again, let me tell you guys, this architecture is completely fine for running some kind of, so structure kind of data. But there are a lot of limitations with this one. Now, the limitations are, we have discussed something about the structured data and structured kind of data. So unstructured kind of data also, if you have some kind of file formats, like simple kind of file formats like CSV, Excel, okay, so so this would be helpful in those kind of areas. Yes, Informatica has one such kind of ETL tool. Okay, so we'll discuss it later. Now, what are the disadvantages with this kind of architecture? Let me tell you now. So if I give it any kind of unstructured kind of data, for example, something like JSON kind of format or some kind of Parquet kind of format, which is employed in big data areas here, or some other kind of any kind of stream data, right? Okay, this architecture would fail, guys. Let me tell you. And again, it would not help us to perform some advanced analytics on the data like machine learning, data science, or AI kind of activities. Now, what are the solution for this? So because see, it doesn't handle unstructured kind of data and it even doesn't. Okay, so let us perform some advanced analytics on the data. This architecture is completely fine for running structured kind of data and BI workloads on top of it. Because see, let me tell you, whatever the data you're transforming and storing, right? Though you're extracting the data from different kinds of data sources here, you're again converting the data into some relational format only. That means in a data warehouse, the data is again getting stored in some kind of structured format. Now, this is fine for running some kind of BI workloads. BI workloads means business intelligence workloads, right? This kind of data would be helpful. I mean, in order to, get some kind of insights from the data. So by preparing some kind of reports, dashboards, okay. So the such kind of activities I can perform. But let me tell you guys, if at all I want to perform any kind of advanced analytics on the data, like machine learning, data science, or any other kind of AI kind of stuff, right? So this architecture gets failed here. Now, what is the solution for this? The solution for this is to move to a concept called as data lakes. Data lakes. Now, let me tell you what exactly data lakes are. Data warehouse was data lakes. So data warehouse, we have already discussed. So we have discussed even the limitations of this one. Now let me introduce you something about data lake here. Now, data lake, the purpose of data lake is to help you store data in different formats here. All right. So now because see, even you had different formats of data here, but you're converting that such kind of data, right? You're again transforming the data into again a structured kind of format. But here, the very purpose of data lake is to help you store different types of data, different varieties of data. Meaning, if I give you some kind of data in JSON format, I can still load it as a JSON kind of format. No need to convert that one or no need to change that one. Okay. So that is why we could store the data in its native format. And again, when compared to data warehouse, it handles huge volumes of data. So data warehouse could hardly store some kind of TBs of data, terabytes of data. But again, when you compare it with data lake, right? Data lake can store huge amounts of data, typically in the ranges of petabytes of data. Because the reason is data lakes are hosted on top of cloud. Any kind of cloud, if you take it. Okay, so as of now, let us leave it that cloud concept, but they are hosted on top of cloud here. Now, again, if you look at the data warehouse and data lake, the other kind of difference is here you're converting all the different kinds of data into again a relational format. So here it is not required. Okay. So that is why we perform something called as ELT kind of architectures here. Okay. So extraction, loading, and transformation. Now, let me tell you what exactly this is, how this is different to the popular ETL kind of thing here. Now, in ETL, what you've done is you have extracted, you have transformed the data, and you have loaded the data. But here, the very purpose of data lake serves you in this kind of format here. You extract the data, you load the data into one single place here, that is data lake, what we call it as, and then you transform the data. Okay, because see, now here the purpose is to load the data in different formats here. Now, if you look at a lake, right? Okay, lake, you people know lake, right? Okay. So water comes in from different kinds of streams here. So likewise, in the same kind of format. Okay, so data could get in, say in different kinds of formats here. It could be JSON, it could be some kind of CSV, it could be a table format, it could be any other kind of kind of format here. So it could be also some kind of batch kind of jobs or stream kind of format, everything. Okay. So that is why we actually use the concept of data lakes. Okay, so that is the purpose of, going with this kind of architectures here. Now, let me tell you, so who uses this data lakes and who uses this data warehousing kind of stuff here? I'll also tell you about this. Now, what exactly is the usage of this one? Now, if you look at the data warehousing kind of thing, right? So as I told you, this is structured in nature. And again, some business users like VPs of the organization or directors of the organization. So they, I mean, use this kind of reports, dashboards, everything in order to take some kind of business decisions. Okay, fine. But again, on the other hand, if you look at the kind of data lake, right, it actually, okay, so lets you, store different kinds of data here. It could be structured data, it could be semi-structured or unstructured kind of data. So who are the users here? The users here would be some kind of research kind of people like data scientists, machine learning, and AI kind of thing here. Okay, because the very purpose of data lake is to help the other kind of data developers to get the data here. Fine, to get the data in some kind of format there. Now, who is going to give them this kind of data? So you as a data engineers. Now, let me tell you the other kind of stuff here, the important stuff here. So we have discussed that data warehousing architecture is very best suitable for running some kind of BI workloads here. So then we move to a concept of data lake here. The solution was data lake, I told you. But again, let me tell you guys, even data lake has few limitations here. Okay, so I'll tell you what exactly those limitations are. Now, when you're able to load the data in different formats here, okay, so it could be JSON, Parquet, or some kind of, okay, so CSV, table kind of data, or any other kind of stream kind of data. Again, it would also help you to perform some kind of advanced analytics on the data, like data science, machine learning, and some other kind of stuff here. But again, let me tell you, there is few kind of limitations here. Because the data is getting stored in different formats, it would be difficult for us to find each and every transaction and update those kind of things. So that is why data lake doesn't comply with ACID properties here. So ACID properties refers to ACID, we call it as. Okay. So this refers to atomicity, consistency, integrity, and some kind of durability. Okay. So these are the kind of stuff which your SQL transactions, now your SQL tables, you store the data in table format, right? Those kind of stuff deals with this kind of things here. So when you're unable to modify something, when you're unable to track those kind of changes, right? Again, it has some kind of limitation, right? Okay. Now, what is the see, this is some kind of drawback here. So what is the solution for this is the solution for this was okay. So to combine the best features of both of these kind of architectures here. So data warehouse plus data lake is the combination of data lakehouse. So that is nothing but data lakehouse. Now, the very purpose of this data lake is to help, okay, or bring all of these data developers under one single roof, one single umbrella here. Okay. Now, here the architecture is in such a way that, okay, so you could perform any kind of data implementation on top of it. So whether it is some kind of batch kind of jobs, let me tell you, now data warehouse could handle only batch kind of data, guys. What is batch data? For example, if you're having some kind of 100,000 records with you. So let's say you're having some kind of 100,000 records with you. Fine. Now, what happens is, for example, I want to load the data in batches. So what do you mean by this? Batches means, for example, consider every 10,000 records to be one kind of batch here. All right. So one kind of batch. So likewise, I want to load the data in 10 different batches here. Okay. So batches. Fine. So that is what we call it as a batch load. Okay. So now your data warehouse could perform this kind of activity here. That is okay, fine. But again, if I give it any kind of stream data means real-time data. For example, some kind of electronic data like IoT kind of data or any such kind of data. Okay. If I give it this kind of, okay, so data, right, it fails here. Fine. So that is not the case with this kind of data lakehouse architecture. So if I give it any kind of data, it would still okay consume that kind of data and it could load such kind of data here. So whether you want to perform batch kind of jobs, you want to perform real time kind of jobs, here streaming kind of data we call it as. Okay, so streaming kind of solutions, any kind of data loads or any kind of data implementations could be performed here. So this is called as delta lake or lakehouse kind of architecture. Who is going to design this? Who is going to perform this? You as a data engineer, guys. Now, let me tell you, see, why I perform this kind of architecture and what are the other kind of roles here. Let me tell you in other simple words. Okay. So we have discussed about the traditional kind of architectures, right? So we have discussed that this architectures, okay, so runs fine with structured kind of data. Fine. So you're loading structure kind of data here. And again, we have discussed that. So this kind of architecture would be perfectly fine for running some kind of BI activities or BI workloads. Now, I mean, I hope you people have heard about big data kind of thing. And again, so we had some kind of technology called as Hadoop in order to deal with such kind of data here. Hadoop. Okay. So Hadoop was also fine. Okay. So it was fine for running some, again, some kind of batch kind of jobs. But again, what about the stream kind of jobs? Okay, stream kind of jobs. Because see, now this has some kind of different compute and storage kind of needs, right? If you go with this kind of architecture. Fine. So here you're going with this kind of architecture. I'm again investing some kind of money. For example, the organization invests some kind of money in order to handle or maintain this kind of architectures here. Again, you're going with some other kind of frameworks like Hadoop or some other kind of things in order to again process some huge amounts of data there. Now, if I go on investing or if I go on with different kinds of architectures, right? So there are a lot of disadvantages with that. What happens is one thing is it is very time consuming. And again, I couldn't deliver the data on time here. So I couldn't cater to the needs of my customers here. Okay. And again, see what they have done is they've integrated these two kinds of architectures and they have designed a single platform, a unified solution for all your data needs here. So here I could learn, I mean, I could implement some different kinds of load kind of things here. So it could be batch kind of jobs, it could be some kind of stream kind of jobs. Okay. So the purpose of this designing this kind of lakehouse kind of architecture is to bring all the data developers under one single roof. Fine, guys. Okay. So what are the data you make it available? So as a data engineer, first of all, what you do is you actually deal with the data and give the data to different kinds of data developers. So, for example, a BI analyst so could be using the data in order to come up with some kind of insights from the report. I mean, okay, so data by generating some kind of reports, everything. A data scientist, on the other hand, so might be using the data given by you. Okay, so he might be coming up with different kinds of statistical models on the data, and it could infer something out of it. A machine learning engineer might be using the data given by you. Okay, so in order to, like, say, for example, he might be using some kind of prediction models on the data. So, for example, he could come up with some kind of future sales on the data, like what could be the sales of Apple iPhones and Samsung Galaxy phones here. So, who would win the race here? Okay, so which kind of brand might get lot of sales in the near future? Likewise, they want to come up with some kind of prediction models, classification kind of activities. Likewise, an AI engineer would be coming up with some kind of data product like Chat GPT kind of application here, for which again data is required here. So for everything, data is required, guys. Data is required. So who is going to give them this data? Data engineers. So he's going to first of all deal with the different kinds of data here, data engineers here. So now let me explain you the concept and an image format here. For example, so as I told you, you might be dealing with some kind of CSV files here. Sorry, guys. Just there is some kind. All right. CSV kind of files here. Okay. Or you might be having the file format in the case of JSON, or you might be having some kind of table data. Okay. So which we call it as SQL. All right. Or you might be having some kind of Parquet file here. Parquet file, which is used in big data environments here. Fine. So Parquet files or some kind of, I mean, Excel kind of files here. Okay. So Excel SX here. Okay. Right. Excel files here. Fine. So likewise, I'll give you that. Okay, so I'll give you that example, guys. Let me tell you first. So what you do as a data engineer is you collect all this kind of data, you ingest all this kind of data through a concept called as a data pipeline here. So this is what we call it as a data pipeline. All right. So this is a data pipeline here. Pipeline. Fine. Again, what you do, so you ingest all such kind of data into this pipeline and you maintain that data. Okay. So again, where you maintain the data. So as I told you, you maintain that data in something called as a data lake here. Fine. So this is actually hosted on top of cloud. Okay. So from here, what you do now, once you load all this kind of data, different kinds of data, right? Okay. Now what you do is you actually perform some kind of load activities or you process the data. Okay. So you transform the data. Now you perform different kinds of activities on the data. So that is why what you do, you actually employ some kind of architectures called as ELT, extraction, loading, and transformation. So once you load all the data, different kinds of data here, right? Then you perform the different kinds of transformation activities. So you design some kind of, okay, so lakehouse kind of architecture here. Okay, so where you load, okay, so where you perform different kinds of activities on the data. Okay, it could be some kind of batch job or it could be some kind of stream kind of jobs, whatever it is. All right. So this kind of architecture, okay, so it's called as lakehouse kind of architecture. Okay. Now, after this, what happens is here the data, okay, so stores in one single format here. Now, when you're having different kinds of format, right? CSV, JSON, SQL, Parquet, if I give the same kind of, format to a data scientist, right? Will he work? No. He will not work on this kind of formats here. So I should give him in a single format there. Again, if I give him all such kind of data to a machine learning engineer, right? It doesn't work with this kind of formats here. Again, a BI, he could also cannot work on this kind of formats here. Because one thing is data is in different formats here and data is in different types here. Okay. So what you do, you first arrange all such kind of data in one single place called as data lake. Then you again so transform the data and make that data in one single format, okay, in a lakehouse kind of architecture. Now, someone has asked me to tell some kind of real-time example here. Let me tell you now. For example, I'll take the case of Walmart here. So Walmart is a very huge retail organization. So it has some kind of online presence. It has some kind of website. Okay. So again, you go to a retail store. Okay. So Walmart retail store. Okay. So in your cities or wherever it is located. So it has its huge presence across North American region, especially USA and Canada kind of regions. Let us take the case of USA. Now, there could be a lot of stores across US, right? So people will be walking into that retail stores or some kind of people would be purchasing some kind of products over online. Okay. So through app kind of things or through some other kind of things here. Now, you might have even purchase some kind of products over Amazon, right? Okay, so when you're purchasing some kind of products, you might have seen some kind of recommendations, right? So people who have purchased or who have bought this kind of products have also purchased this kind of products. Something you might have seen in some kind of format, right? Okay, so such kind of so concept there. Okay, so those are called as recommendation kind of things here. Have you ever wondered how come they are giving you such kind of recommendations? Okay, so that is some kind of data only, right? If they have such kind of data, only they can recommend you something, right? Now, from where they're getting the data. So let me tell you guys. Now you will be walking to the store. Okay, so there some kind of data formats are generating. So typically, so those billing kind of softwares use some kind of Excel kind of things and some kind of so table kind of format. All right. So they use some kind of JSON kind of things here. Okay, or for example, they use some kind of Excel kind of format, CSV kind of spreadsheets they use. Now, might be some other kind of stores might be employing some other kind of data with them. Okay, so they might be having some other kind of format with them. Or finally, they might be storing some kind of data in SQL kind of format, table kind of format. Now, when I'm having data in this different kind of format, right? Again, some kind of people would be purchasing products online. Okay, again, there the data will be getting generated in different kinds of format. Now, I told you something about recommendation systems there. Okay, so there the data is getting generated in unstructured kind of format. So especially you see them in this kind of format, JSON kind of format and Parquet kind of format here. Okay, now what happens with this one is, let me tell you, now if I give you Excel file, if I give you CSV file, right, technical points I'll tell you. You can still open that file, you can still read that file, you can still understand that file. But if I give you some kind of JSON file, or if I give you some kind of Parquet file, can you read the contents out of it? Let me take the case of Parquet here. Can you read the contents out of it? No, right? Okay. So it has to be transformed. That data has to be transformed here. Okay. So that is why in real world, you as a data engineer, what you do, you ingest all this data into something called as a data pipeline here. Okay. So data pipelines, we call it as. Okay. Through this pipeline, what you do, after ingesting, you load all such kind of data into this data lakehouse repository. Fine. You arrange this data, okay, in different formats here. So it could be CSV, JSON, SQL, any kind of data. Okay. So likewise, all the enterprise data you're loading here, all the Walmart data you're loading here. You collected the data through different formats there. It could be online, it could be app format, or it could be some kind of people walking through the retail stores and making some kind of transactions there. Okay. So purchasing the products and making some kind of transactions. Okay. All such kind of data I have here now. I arrange all this data in one single place called as a data lake. So once after loading this kind of data into data lake, then I will think of how to convert that data, how to transform that data. So some data like table data or CSV kind of data could be easily converted. Fine. But again, some kind of data which is in some kind of format like parquet or JSON kind of format, right? They couldn't be performed in some unsimple way, right? Okay. So again, they require some other kind of formats. So which we call it as data bricks platform. Okay. So those kind of environments, we take it and we process the data. So like we employ some kind of Spark kind of things in order to process the data here. Okay. So much fastly and efficiently here. Finally, you design this kind of lakehouse kind of architecture. The purpose of this lakehouse kind of architecture is to consume all this kind of data and make it in again one single format, so that after this again the data could be used by data scientists, data analysts, machine learning people here. So this is what you do it, guys, actually. So before they work, actually you people are working, you people are converting the data, you people are actually handling the data, different types, different volumes of data, different formats of data. Again, you are making that data into one single kind of format which could be readable or which could be easily accessible to others here. So this is what your roles will be, guys, in real world scenarios. So that is the importance of you people. Now, before this one, right, let me tell you, if you even take the case of last 5 years, okay, so we didn't had this kind of roles here. And with this one, what happened is, now let me tell you, even I worked as a data scientist and ML kind of engineer also before I mean, work. Okay, so in my present role here, let me tell you, now if someone given me some kind of data which is in Parquet kind of format, right? Because I didn't add this kind of resource here. Okay. I didn't add this kind of platform here. So how could I convert such kind of data? No way, right? Okay. So that was the complexity we faced in real world scenarios. All right. So now after this kind of architectures came into the concept, right? So this data engineering kind of stuff came into the concept, right? So we have separate roles for this one. Okay. So these are the frontline engineers, data engineers. So these are the people who actually deal with the data here. Okay. So then see, after converting, after transforming the data into one single format, then a data scientist would come into the concept. He would be applying some kind of algorithms on the data. So that is different story. But before that one, right? Okay. So who is going to perform this job here? Who is going to convert the data? Who is going to transform the data here? Who is going to play with the different formats of data? Now you have understood, right? Okay. So people flock in, okay, so to some kind of stores there, the data gets stored in some kind of format. Again, you shop, okay, so online, okay, through some kind of app or some kind of website, whatever it is, okay. Again, some other kind of format is getting generated. So likewise, now if you look at here, right? Today, we are also seeing the data in some kind of image format also, in some kind of audio kind of format also, video kind of format also. Okay. Now, again, all this kind of data is going to deal with this one. So you as a data engineer here. Fine. So this is the process you perform in real world scenarios. So you actually build the concept of a data pipelines. Okay. So you ingest all such kind of data here. You again load all such kind of data. Load means you make, I mean, you arrange all such kind of data at one single place. So that is called as a data lake. Finally, after loading, you now transform the data. Okay. So to make the data available for other data developers here. So they could be some data analysts, data scientists, machine learning people, or AI people. So who want to, I mean, make some kind of data products like Chat GPT kind of application also. Even for Chat GPT, data is required, guys. Without data, can it give you any answers? No, right? Whether you take it Siri or Cortana or any kind of things here. Fine. So it requires data here. And who is going to give them this data? Who is going to make that data available to them? Okay, so you as a data engineer. So that is the importance of data engineers today. So without this kind of role, right, we could hardly assume data here. So that is the importance of this kind of roles here. What format is in the lakehouse? So, I mean, if you ask me the format, right, let me tell you, this is some kind of delta format. So need not worry, even if you don't know about this delta. So that is one kind of format which we employ in data bricks kind of concept there. All right. So what are the formats are raw data converted to? See, first of all, here, as I told you, now these are the different kinds of formats we get the data from. All right. So what we do here is we actually load this data here, then we convert the data into one delta format through the concept of Databricks architecture. Okay. So where again you work on Spark kind of things here. Okay. So need not worry, even if you don't know Spark. So we'll be learning Spark in our course, guys. Python and Spark programming. So we'll be learning. Need not worry, even if you don't know programming here. Okay. So see, leave it all those. Okay. So confusions from your mind, guys. Okay. Let me tell you. Now I'm from non-IT background. I don't know this. I don't know that. Okay. So you will be learning from scratch here. Need not worry. Everything I'll teach you from scratch here. Okay. So, but this is the overall architecture. Okay. So if you look at, what you do exactly here. Fine. So let me tell you guys, you are the main person. Okay. So who you will be, so you will be making the data available for other data developers here. So the concept of lakehouse is to bring all those data developers under one single roof. Now, before this, now like say for example, see, we used to maintain some kind of traditional kind of architectures. We used to rely on those kind of things. We used to rely on Hadoop. Again, people used to rely on different other kind of frameworks. Okay, so which again required some different compute and storage requirements there. Okay, so which is again a time consuming kind of process. Even for an organization, it is some kind of investment only. But again, see, let me tell you in simple words here. Now you want to shop some different kinds of products, guys. Okay. So for example, in your city, so though all those kind of items, if you think that it could be available under one single shop, right? So would you be comfortable with that? Or rather than going to different parts of the city, roaming there and purchasing some kind of products. So this is what exactly the same thing goes with data engineering here. Okay. You make the data, okay, different kinds of data available in one single format to other data developers here. So this is what you do actually. You actually play with the data here. Okay. So after this, what they want to do on the data, what inference they want to perform on the data, what insight they want to get from the data, it's up to them here. This is your role here. Fine. This is what your job is. So this is a role of a data engineer, guys. So data lakehouse kind of architecture. Now let me tell you the other things here. So drawbacks of the traditional ETL approach. So we had vast varieties of data, as I told you, structured, semi-structured, unstructured kind of data. Okay, streaming kind of data also. Again, transformation took place longer kind of time. We had to deal with huge volumes of data, which is not possible with the traditional ETL architectures there. We had a lot of data discrepancies. Again, we had unrealistic data models. So which again, okay, so resulted in some kind of inaccurate reporting systems here. So that were the drawbacks of the traditional kind of architectures. So whatever the solution to this, data engineering as a solution. All right. So if you look at, so we employ some kind of ELT kind of approach here rather than going with ETL kind of approach. ELT stands for extraction, loading, and transform. So what you do, you actually extract the data. That means you take the data from different kinds of data sources. You first load the data, as I told you in this kind of things here. You actually load the data into this data lake. Fine. Then you transform the data.
So
So this is
Vamshi,
what
I
you do.
think Vamshi, just 1 minute. I think can you please stop the screen share and reshare it? I think somebody has done the scratch of yellow mark.
Yes, 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 of course.
Yeah,
Yes.
reshare it.
Fine.
Better. Thank you.
Yeah. So, so what do data engineers do? As I told you, they play with a wide variety of data, different formats of data they play with. They actually perform the real job here. So that means they extract the data, they actually transform the data, they play with different so disambiguities and so discrepancies with the data, and they actually make the data in one format and they make the data available for other data developers here. So this is what a job of a data engineer is. So in order to make that data, so they actually play with this data lake and lakehouse kind of architecture. in order to perform any kind of batch jobs, stream jobs, everything. Okay. So whatever the kind of implementation you want to make on the data, it could be data. I mean, see, it could be batch kind of loads, stream kind of jobs, real-time analytics, everything. Okay. So they actually perform this kind of activities and make the data available for other data developers here. Okay. So that is why you can see a data engineer will be acting as some kind of bridge between the data, different kinds of data, and the other kind of analytics teams here. All right. So he's the main person who gets involved in different kinds of activities here. Okay. So and make the data available here. All right. So if you look at an analytics team, right, a typical data analytics team. So let me tell you now who performs which kind of roles here. So now you have understood, right? The role of a data engineer, he actually plays with the data. Fine. So on the other hand, if you look at a data scientist, okay, so who perform this kind of activities here? Let me tell you. So data engineer builds data pipelines to pull together data from different systems, validate and prepare high quality data. Aids data scientists in integrating, consolidating, and cleansing data. Okay, so he actually, I mean, extracts the data in different formats. He actually validates the data. He prepares the data in one single kind of format, and he actually makes the data available for other data developers here. On the other hand, if you look at a data scientist, right? Data scientists need reliable data for machine learning, data exploration, and other analytical projects. Reliable data. What do you mean by reliable data? Reliable data means which is in one single kind of format and which is readable and which could be understandable here. All right. So if I give him some kind of paragraph or any other kind of format which he can't understand, right? He can't infer anything out of it. Okay, so that is why you people will be actually doing the job. Okay, so first and then, I mean, so you'll be making that data available. Okay, so to them in some kind of format, then they will be performing their kind of job here. So this is what now the trend is going on actually. Okay, so data scientists may rely on data engineers to find and prepare data for their analysis. Okay, so they rely on data engineers. So that is why in an analytics team, right, in real world scenarios, you people closely work with all these data scientists, machine learning people, AI kind of people. So your role will be that, because see, the main thing is data here. So you make the data available for them. You give them the data actually. Okay, so in whatever format they want actually. So that is why you people are employed today. You people are into demand today. Okay, and trend is rising exponentially. Okay, the trend for data engineers are rising exponentially today. Because see, you work with big data stuff, you work with different kinds of data stuff, different kinds of load patterns, load activities, everything here. Okay, and you make the data. Okay, so I mean available. You give them the data, actual data. So that is why data engineer role is very crucial today, guys. Okay, now if you ask me why we need to stick onto Azure platform, why we need to learn these concepts on Azure, why not AWS or GCP kind of thing? Let me tell you, guys. Azure is one such kind of cloud. Okay, so solution from Microsoft. Let me tell you now. The data platform in Azure, okay, so it's very robust and very simple kind of things here. So whatever kind of, I mean, okay, so problem you're having, they have a solution for them. All right, so such is the platform on Azure, data platform. And let me tell you, if AWS costs, for example, if AWS costs $100 for some kind of data activity, right? Azure charges you almost all $20 to $30. So that is the kind of implementation in real world exactly is going on. So that is why every organization today is relying on Azure for their data kind of implementations, whether it could be data engineering stuff, data science, machine learning, or AI. And even I hope you people have also heard about Microsoft. Okay, so joining hands with OpenAI, right? So they have already launched some kind of product, Chat GPT kind of application. You people already knew this one. Okay, now Chat GPT is also one such kind of service made available on Azure platform today. Okay, so that means you could also use that Chat GPT kind of application and come up with the same kind of application or design your own chatbot also. Fine. So that is also fine. So they are implementing this AI features in every kind of data services, whatever you take it. Okay. And today, let me tell you, so leaving apart all this kind of things, right? The new users, okay, new users or the new organizations who want to adopt to cloud practices are much more onto Azure now rather than AWS and GCP. Guys, let me tell you, I'm not telling this one. Okay. So you can find it over Google. Okay. Why Azure is leading today, why Azure is trending today. Okay, so in terms of data or AI, whatever it is. And one such kind of example I'll show you. Okay, so this is from Forbes. So you could understand this one, right? So why Microsoft? Okay, so let me tell you now. So why Microsoft Azure could take the cloud lead from Amazon AWS by 2026. Fine. So they have their reasons, because one such kind of thing is they have invested heavily into this AI kind of thing. And let me tell you guys, Microsoft Azure as a best platform in terms of AI data. Okay, so whatever you call it. Okay, might be, see, AWS might be good at some kind of terms there. Okay, so some kind of other kind of activities. But again, when you I mean, okay, so consider this data roles and this data kind of platforms, right? Data architectures. Microsoft Azure is the leader now. Okay, so this is what Forbes has given here. All right. So again, see, Microsoft Azure has the potential to overtake AWS market cloud lead. Okay, so they have this potential. Of course, now AWS is the leader. Okay, so in terms of the market capitalization or whatever you call it, okay, market size or market capitalization. But the second is Azure, but it has the potential to overtake AWS in the near future. Okay, so that is what this Forbes has given here, and you can find a lot of such kind of articles here. Okay, so why? I mean, okay, so Azure is trending here. Why Azure could be the leader here? Okay, so you could refer. I mean, Google. You could Google all this kind of articles here.
So,
Fine.
Vamshi, can you
Yes.
please help us with the real-time Azure data engineer kind of a role when you, if you can open
Fine.
that Microsoft Azure platform and
Yes.
just
Yes.
give some little
Sure.
bit of an hands-on activity that will just give us more realistic picture. Yeah, thank you.
Fine. Fine. Yeah. It's just a minute here.
Clemson, good number of people will be coming from the non-IT background, which means that we will be teaching each and every topic right from the basics, right from the fundamentals. We will take you to the advanced level so that you can confidently apply to at least 4 to 5 years of experience kind of a role. It will, yeah, that's the kind of confidence we are giving from the complete hands-on training. Vamshi, are you okay? Struggling to get the code? You got it?
Okay. So fine. Now, guys, let me tell you. So this is Azure portal. So again, every one of you will be creating this Azure portal. Okay, so you need to register for this and again create your account on Azure. And again, you will be given this Azure portal. So every one of you, and this is where you people will be working. Now, let me tell you what kind of stuff it is. Okay, so this is what you could see some kind of objects here. Now, as I told you, the concept of data pipeline. So I'll answer all your questions, guys. Just a minute. I mean, another 5 minutes, I'll answer your questions here. So what we do exactly here. Now, I told you one thing that you will be designing the concept of this data pipelines here. So how do you design them? Where do you use it actually? Okay, so we actually perform such kind of activities using some kind of concept on Azure called as data factory. So there is a component or data service. This is one kind of data service called data factory. So you actually, I mean, use this kind of data factory in order to build the concept of a data pipeline. So let me show you that. So here the concept is you actually have some kind of data lakes here. So this is some kind of data lake environment. So where you store the data here. Let me show you that. Okay. So as you can see, these are the different kinds of data sources here. So you can see this one. Okay. So something is in CSV kind of format, text kind of format. Okay. So different kinds of formats you have. All right. So here is where all the data resides actually. I mean, again, you also load this kind of data. Fine. Again, let me tell you, now what you exactly do here, I'll tell you this. So this is called as link service. So this is where you actually connect to different kinds of data. Now let me show you this. Look at this, guys. So here, if you look at, you can extract the data, you can pull the data from different kinds of data sources. It could be from other kind of cloud vendors as well. So like AWS and GCP as well. So you can see Amazon RDS for Oracle, SQL Server, Amazon Redshift, again Amazon S3, so which is some kind of default storage over AWS, and again Apache Impala, Asana. So this is again some kind of tool used by product and project managers here. So Azure AI Search, Blob Storage, so which we'll also discuss it as part of a course here. And again, see Cosmos DB, this is some kind of NoSQL kind of data in I mean in big data kind of things. So NoSQL is some kind of databases kind of things. Okay. Again, data lake storage. Now I told you something about data lakes, right? So this is some kind of thing. And again, likewise, you have different other kind of data sources as well. So you could see, I mean, this is Azure SQL database. So this is Cassandra. Okay. So again, some kind of NoSQL kind of data. So this is from IBM DB2. Again, likewise, you could see Microsoft Dynamics 365, GitHub, okay, so which is again an open source community. Okay, Google Ads also you can, I mean, extract the data from. Okay, so Google BigQuery, Google Cloud Storage, these are all the storage and platforms from GCP kind of cloud. And again, HP Greenplum, HBase, Google Sheets, HDFS. Okay, so this is Hadoop, HTTP. So even you can extract the data from a web source. Hive, HubSpot. Okay, so HubSpot, so a popular CRM kind of software. HubSpot, again, you have Jira. Okay, so Jira will be used in different applications there. Okay, so IBM Informix, Magento. Okay, so MariaDB, Marketo, again, which is Market is also some kind of important CRM software, just like your Salesforce. Again, Microsoft 365, again, a Fabric kind of lakehouse, MongoDB, MySQL, Netezza, ODBC, and Oracle Cloud platforms here. Okay. PayPal, one of the popular, okay, so payment kind of platforms here, PayPal. Okay. So Phoenix, PostgreSQL, Presto, QuickBooks, SAP warehouses. Okay. So SAP kind of data sources as well. And again, Salesforce kind of objects also. Okay. So Salesforce, you have different kinds of clouds on Salesforce, right? Salesforce Marketing Cloud, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud. Okay, so Salesforce legacy kind of platform, like I mean, likewise, I mean, so Service Now, Shopify. I mean, popular shopping kind of site also, Shopify. Okay, again, Snowflake, Spark, Twilio, Sybase, Teradata. Okay, so I mean, if you look at, see, Zoho, again, one of the other popular CRM kind of softwares. Okay, so Zero and data.world. Okay, so if you look at, these are the different kinds of data sources from where you can build the concept of I mean, you can extract this one data from them. And again, you can build the concept of a data pipeline. So if you let me show you the pipelines also. So these are the different kinds of pipelines, guys, here. So if you look at, so this is some kind of pipeline. Okay. So likewise, you could see some different kinds of pipelines here. ACD kind of stuff, which we'll discuss it later. Okay. So, I mean, you can load data in different kinds of formats here. All right. So these are the pipelines here. So you can design them. Okay. So you can come up with such kind of activities here. Okay. You first of all see these are the data sets here. Okay. So you actually create some data sets also from where you extract the data. Now, here I told you that you will be extracting the data from your link service. Okay. After extracting, you actually store the data in a data set kind of format here. Okay. So this is where, I mean, you actually store the data. And again, you build the concept of a data pipeline. So such is some kind of activity. Now, let me show you a simple activity on how this is performed. So new pipeline, I'll take it. Let me close all this. So for example, so what I do, This is a pipeline, guys. Now, what we do in real world, I'm telling you. So now a pipeline, see, data pipeline. I told you something about data pipeline, right? You ingest all this data into this data pipeline. That means a data pipeline has some kind of source. Okay, so this is the source and this is some kind of sink here. That means you actually, okay, so move the data to somewhere else here. Okay, so what we do now, what are the source here? So you connect to some kind of data, set here. For example, let me show you something. I have some simple data. I'll take it. Fine. So this is the data I'm having. So what I do, again, sync here. Sync is where you try to load this data. Okay. So let's say, for example, I want to load this data into my data lake environment. Okay. I think I shown you some kind of data lake, right? So this is where, let's say, for example, let me remove this. Okay. So if you look at here, so this is the file I'm actually, okay, so loading and I'll show you this file also. So this is the file actually. I'll test the connection. Connection is successful. If you can even preview the data also, what kind of data it is, and you can see some kind of sample data. So this is the data actually. Fine. Again, what you do, now let me transfer this data to some kind of, okay, so location here. Okay. So for example, all right. Now what I do, so let me publish this changes here. So pipeline publish. So I'm actually trying to load this data. By taking some kind of source and again, moving this data to my data lake here. Okay, so let me show you this. Now, in order to run this pipeline, we have this debug kind of concept. So I can run this pipeline here. So you can see the pipeline is in progress. So it is actually in queue state. It is running. As you can see, the pipeline is successful now. Okay, so you could see, I'll tell you from where I'm taken the data, from where I'm loading the data here. Okay, so I've taken this data, I've extracted this data from some kind of blob storage. So which is again in this particular region. So it is actually deployed in this region. Again, I'm moving this data to some kind of data lake kind of format here. Okay, so which is again in this particular region. So you could see this is the kind of size it has read, and again it has even written this kind of data. Okay, so this is how you can verify this one. And again, in order to verify, you can still, I'll also tell you some other way. So go to your data lake and just refresh this one. You should able to see some kind of file here. So this is the file we just transferred now. Okay, so we have loaded this file just now. So you could see the same kind of data here. Okay. So this is what you do it, guys. You actually build the concept of a data pipeline. You actually load the data, every data here in this data lake. Okay. So then some of the data might be in some other kind of format also. You actually go with some other kind of data service there, like Databricks. Okay. So again, transform them. You actually load the data again in this data lake. You convert this data lake to Delta kind of format, lakehouse architecture I told you. And you make this data available for other data developers. So this is what you do actually. Fine. This is some kind of sample kind of, okay, so job role I'm explaining you the live implementation. Okay, so likewise, we'll be working on different kinds of live scenarios and again, different kinds of real-time kind of projects. So we'll be discussing in our course. So likewise, we'll be designing different kinds of data pipelines here in order to load the activities, data load activities. Okay, so that's up from me. Now, Thank you, everyone. Okay, let me now answer your questions here. Okay, so please advise what is included as a part of this course, how long is the course, and what days have been scheduled, and how many hours on each training day would be useful. Let me tell you guys, every day it would be from 60 to 90 minutes session, and the course duration is 2 months here. And again, so let me tell you, so as
I
part of
will,
this one,
can I cover this one?
yes, yes, please.
Oh, okay, okay. Just to give you the glimpse of it, maybe I'll just share my screen.
Fine.
Oops, sorry. I was just doing some personal thing. All right, team. Yeah, for those who are interested to start this class, so the class is getting started on. Oh, sorry, just 1 minute. So we have the data engineering classes that is starting from tomorrow. I mean, tomorrow in the sense like Monday. It's already Sunday here in Australia. So the classes will be from 5th of August and it will continue until 25th. Outside it is just like 1 week, 2 weeks, but we are going to take good amount of time to explain each concept. And Vamshi will be the trainer, and he's going to timing is going to be 7 o'clock in the evening East Australia time to 8 o'clock. If you are in USA, that's going to be 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will text you as well. And each class will be recorded and shared. And if you look at the course content, and Vamsi will be highlighting it as well. So I will be sharing all this course content. So covering the Azure Data Engineer right from the basics, and then the storages, different storages. And here you can see the CI/CD pipeline. All these things will be Synapse Analytics, will be covered Databricks. And all these are most highly asked in demand right now, and especially the hands-on the engineering labs, all you will be doing all these activities as part of the training, completely hands-on. And then there will be some real-time projects as well that Vamshi will be guiding you to do it on your own. He will be reviewing. You can ask any questions, and there is a uh, complimentary mock interviews and the certification support, CV, LinkedIn, all these things. On top of it, we already created, for example, if you see this is my WhatsApp, and then if I just see, I will be adding you to this Azure Data Engineer August group we just created, and these are the previous groups. You can see the training is going well. Good team. Okay. All right. Okay. Vamshi, you can share the screen and then we will cover other questions.
Yeah. So, okay, so people are asking, fine. So, as part of this course, guys, let me tell you, need not worry for anything. So, even if it is SQL kind of thing, so yes, of course, we'll be learning SQL and PySpark as well. So, Python and Spark will also be a complementary kind of courses from our side. So, you'll be learning it of free of course. No need to worry, even if you do not know SQL or PySpark kind of thing. So, we'll be learning them. And again, so the other questions. Hi, can you cover all the topics starting from SQL, Hadoop, Spark? Yes, of course. Okay, so Varaprasad, so we'll be learning them. Yes. And again, for real-time data ingestion and delivery, is ADF is equivalent to Kafka or we use Kafka? So we have Kafka and Spark here. So we'll be performing this kind of data ingestion. Okay, so real-time kind of data, streaming kind of data using Databricks platform. Yes, of course, I'll show you some kind of Kafka kind of code as well. How do we pull it from POS? Okay, so POS, I mean, so first of all, POS data has to be collected in some kind of format there. It could be Excel or it could be any other kind of format. So we do not know what kind of format they have actually. Okay, so likewise, once after we get that data, we can pull in this data. How much longer for this webinar? Okay, so it has done. Yes, ma'am. Okay, so take your time, please, to explain. Fine. Okay. So will you be teaching SQL as well? Yes, of course. And how to prepare for the DP 203? So let me tell you guys, after the end of this course, we have separate session on this certification kind of thing. So I'll guide you on how to prepare. Okay, so for DP 203 certification, then you can go and attempt your okay, so test that. Some of us have no single technical knowledge. Hope it won't be a problem. So definitely it will not be a problem because you'll be learning from scratch here. Okay, so everything, I mean, right now, I mean, see, let me tell you, the first session will be on basics of Azure and cloud. And again, next we'll be starting off with SQL. Directly, I'll not start with any kind of Azure stuff here. So people who do not know SQL kind of thing, database kind of knowledge. So you can have a good answer on that one. And
And on
again,
top of it, what Vamshi is saying, we also support you to join multiple times. That will make you more confident. So you are going to go for this 7 or 8 weeks of training, and if you're feeling that, oh, I'm not really confident enough, so you can rejoin again our next batches absolutely free of cost.
yes, that okay. So also we have guys. Okay, so you can attend multiple batches. Okay, so till you feel comfortable in this kind of data engineering kind of platform. And again, so is this preparing each individual to take the exam? Yes, Abdul. Okay, so you can prepare for the exam as well. The main concept here is to give you hands-on on the real kind of projects here. Okay, so what you do as a data engineer. So that is the main concept here. Let me tell you, certification part. If you get employed, definitely your employer will sponsor for your certification. So that is not a big task here. Okay, so need not worry about the certification part here. So does the course include certification? It doesn't include certification, but it will give you enough knowledge to write your certification. So mainly we will focus on the practical concepts and hands-on kind of scenarios which you work in real world right from day one. If you have been given any task on as a data engineer, so you can perform your role. Okay, so that is what we focus here. And again, so do we need to be trained into Python? Yes, Bhargavi. So I'll make you work on Python and Spark as well. I'm worried about the ability. Okay, so Kramon, remember all of the data concepts here. Need not worry. So everything will be in a structured format. Okay, so I'll be taking you from, okay, so one concept to the other. Okay, so need not worry. I mean, so we'll be discussing from scratch. And again, so I'll give you all the concepts here. I'll make you learn all the concepts in a step-by-step kind of manner here. How much does this course cost? Okay, so I mean, so we're charging 500 US dollars there. So you can again contact Mr. Lakshmi Garu, and again, so you will guide you well on this one. So do we use? Okay, so our own Microsoft user for labs. Yes, of course, Vinesh, you have to create Azure account. I'll also be guiding you on those things on Monday session. And again, how much is the exam cost? The exam cost, I mean, so I think it is $170 today. I need to check with that one. Okay, so because they have raised the prices there. As Python is necessary in many job along with data engineering. So Python is not mandatory, but see, let me tell you now some of the data you have to transform such kind of data. I told you, right, Park and some kind of thing. So we use PySpark environment there. So for which you need to know Python here. Okay, so we'll be learning Python and Spark also here. It is not fast paced. Okay, so okay, so now when we start with our real time sessions, right, you will feel comfortable. Okay, so that much I can assure you. Fine. Okay, so any other questions, guys? I hope you people got an understanding, right? Okay, so what exactly a data engineer will be performing.
Okay, team, I just unmuted all of you. You're most welcome to unmute yourself. If you have any question, please feel free to ask. And I'm also texting you Vamshi, LinkedIn as well. You can check and then you can connect with Vamshi as well. And he's very good technically. We have just got a glimpse of it. Vishwanath, your communication, wow, Vamshi is really a good trainer, especially in that space. All my trainers, including myself, we are really highly qualified, close to 20 years of experience. I personally have 25 years of experience in IT and currently residing in Australia. And Vamshi is an IIT graduate and currently working in Microsoft, AI scientist. Similarly, if you take the DevOps trainer, he is also IIT graduate from India, having 20 plus years of experience working as a DevOps architect in National Australia Bank. And yeah, we do have other training. So the quality and the practical approach, a continuous support, that's where we are making the required difference in the market. Okay, team, I gave you my LinkedIn. I also gave you the Vamshi's LinkedIn. And we also have a Telegram group. If you just for those who haven't. So this is Vamshi's LinkedIn, and this is my Telegram group. And here you see I'm the member of it. I'm the admin of this group, and I share a lot of job opportunities, including remote and the data engineer job. Look at this, yesterday I posted this thing, and sometimes I do get this data engineer jobs. So I will be posting all a good community here. Okay, though there's no junk, no much of marketing. So just you can, and a lot of free webinars. Like yesterday, we gave this webinar on the DevOps. So Madan gave that. So we have all these webinars lined up. Yeah, you can join. Absolutely no charges. We will continue to do. Spreading the knowledge is very important. And yeah, any other questions, please feel free to ask. You can unmute, raise your hand. Vamshi is here.
Hi, Vamshi. This is Feroz.
Yeah. Hi, Feroz.
I just wanted to ask. I was going through a couple of job descriptions in Azure Data Engineering. So a
Mhm.
lot of the job descriptions you see online or on LinkedIn, right? So they are with what are all you are teaching, plus you have it with Power BI or any kind of visualization tool. So are we going to learn visualization tool in this, or is it going to be a separate like Power BI or Tableau?
Okay. So let me tell you, see, the JD tells that, I mean, so you can integrate it with Power BI. So, but exactly, you'll not be working on Power BI in real world scenarios. So data engineering is a different kind of job role, as I told you. So you'll be designing data pipelines and we will be working on database kind of platform. So where you integrate it with Power BI. So need not worry about that, even if you don't know. So that's a different role, actually, Power BI kind of thing.
But thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes,
Vamshi,
Georgia.
ba
Yes.
Bhargavi is
Yeah,
asking.
uh,
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Georgia.
yeah. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Wamshi, I sent my question, but I think you didn't see it. I wanted to know the cost for this course, and as well as the cost for the exams.
Right. Georgia, the cost for the course is 500 US dollar. You are in USA?
I'm in UK.
You are in UK. That translates to 400 pounds. Okay. The timing is going to be 10 o'clock in the morning to 11 o'clock. 400 pounds is the training fee, and you can pay it in installments. We need money to run the business and other training costs, but we are not really after money. Student success and a continuous support is always my top priority from the beginning. And what else you asked? You asked the examination fee, 170 dollars is the examination fee. I think that translates to around 125, 130 pounds GBP I'm talking about.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Judge, yeah, you can just message me on my WhatsApp. I think we connected on WhatsApp, right? So please feel free to call me and I will be happy to support you as well. You can pay it in installment. For example, this is like, 6 to 7 weeks of training. So you don't need to pay everything upfront. You can start with a small deposit. It's like a pay as you go. So as we are progressing, you can start progressing with your payments as well. And we don't have any marketing or we don't have any big staff who will be chasing you, calling you for the money. We don't do all those nonsense. So you can be very comfortable. You will have full support.
So, like, see, now that I'm following your course and then combined with this one, is it not going to be confusing?
It is
Just
it is
curious.
little bit it is a little bit overwhelming for you, darling. So I suggest you please complete this my training because all these trainings is like a running train. It is, I know, even if you have money, right? It is important to focus on one thing and get most of it. Then you digest that subject and then go for it. Okay. So for you, maybe in your case, you complete my training first, then you can pick this one. Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Baptiste, go ahead. Good
Yes, sir.
evening.
Can you hear? Good
Yes,
evening, sir.
very well. Yes.
Yes, I just wanted to know. I think I saw a text. Someone asked a question about, is there a particular certification for this specific data engineering?
Yeah, we have the Microsoft DP203 if you go to the internet, Baptiste, and that's what the
Mhm.
people are talking about. So just go to the internet and then just to say DP203, enter. This is directly from Microsoft.
Mm.
And this is a DP, yeah, DP203. This is Microsoft Certified Azure Data Engineer. That's the certification is directly from Microsoft. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
perfect. Any questions, team?
I have a question. I wanted to ask,
Mitesh from
yes,
Australia. Go ahead.
hi. So, what Bhargavi asked here in terms of the certifications and all that, because I think some of the roles in companies here like Syntax, they ask you to beforehand complete AZ 900 or for data entry engineering roles. So which ones can, which what kind of roles can we complete here? Can we complete the because right now Azure has in fundamentals he has AZ 900, they have the AZ AI, and then the AZ data one. So can you finish your fundamentals after complete this whole course and apply uh, give those exams, or would it be going up to the associate ones?
Okay, let me answer this question. Thank you, Mitesh. Okay, so let me tell you, as part of this course, okay, so before even we start off with the DP 203 kind of stuff, right? So I'll also be teaching you the data fundamentals here. But regarding the certification, okay, so it's not required here for real-time kind of things. Just, I mean, a knowledge on all those kind of data platform, data services would be enough. That's it. So, but again, I don't recommend you to go with data fundamentals kind of certification because I mean, see here, the certification is DP 203. So that is very important for you. Okay, so that I mean, if you go it, I mean, that's okay. Data fundamentals, anyways, will be learning as part of a course that one. So that is for sure.
Right. So the reason I ask is that I am just jumping from, like I have an IT background, but haven't worked in IT for such a long time. So when I was looking for the roles which many of the companies have, the common one is like they want AZ 900 and DP 900. So which you said before that it will prepare you it will cover the topics which
Yes,
will prepare you to sit for the exam. So will it cover only the fundamentals or would it go up to associate?
it will go up to associate. Okay, so data
Okay.
fundamentals as well as DP 203 associate. Both things will be learning.
All right. All right. Would we get any assistance in preparing for the certifications, or how
Yes,
would
of
it
course.
work?
Yes, of course. See, first thing is this course itself will give you a lot of concepts, even regarding real time as well and certification as well. But again, after the end of the course, I'll also be guiding you on how to prepare for the certification. Okay, so what you need to do, those kind of things also will be discussed.
Okay. Because because thing is because we're going to be spending 2 months, right? It is from tomorrow until I think for September 25th of September. So
Yes.
while studying this course, can side by side can be studied either for Azure Fundamental and Azure Data Fundamental because of things because I believe we would be going progressively, am I right? To
Yes,
studying
yes,
these
of course, you
concepts.
can. You
So
can.
so in that way, can I book it for like probably next month or so, these two, so the Azure Fundamental and Data Fundamental, so that I can even sit for that exam after probably a month of class or something. So how is the pathway to this one?
Let me tell you
Because I
guys,
don't
see,
know about the other places, but I know the companies which I have been applying for, they are like, we need you to have, because when we say that couple of years of experience will be covered, but they would be like, how would you know without even cracking the basic exams? Do you know what I mean?
yes, yes, okay. Okay, okay, fine. Let me tell you. See, Azure fundamentals and again, see data fundamentals, so which is DP 900 actually. So even those things also will be covered here. So you can attempt your examinations. All right.
Mm.
So what's the
And
And if you
guarantee that
yeah,
after
sorry, go ahead, Zach.
hi Lakshmi, this is Zach from Victoria.
Zach,
Uh
go
good
ahead,
evening.
Zach.
How you going? I
All
just
good,
want
all
to
good.
find out like after the course, what's the guarantee like we're gonna get the job? I mean, are you saying that everything that we're gonna be covered on the topic would definitely help us in getting this job? I
This
mean,
will
cracking the
maximize your
interview and
opportunity
stuff.
to get the job, because to get the job you need to have the real hands-on experience. And the word the guarantee is the one that is really worrying me. And I always tell to the people, if somebody says that, oh, do this one, 100% job is assured, please don't trust them. There is no such guarantee that exists in the world. And if they are really giving that 100% guarantee, there is something going wrong there. So, but what we can confidently assure you on the recording, me and Vamshi, is this course will make you really confident to confidently apply for 4 to 5 years of experienced roles in the market.
Okay,
because it's
thank you.
completely practical. And in the interviews, you need to demonstrate that practicality, that real-time experience is very important. It's not just about getting job right, check. So it is more important how efficiently we perform our activities after joining in the organization is very important.
All right, thank you.
Good, thank you. Hi, AJ. Question?
Hi, Lakshmi. This is
Hi,
Anish. The
Anuj.
question
Yes,
is, so it's, I understand this course is very good. I'm 100% confident. I attended the previous batch also.
yes,
My
you.
question here is like, the with regards to the interview questions or like material, would there be any support or like some sort of, let's say, website or some links will be available so that we can go through those questions as well?
Yes, yes, of course. Yes, of course. I'll be sharing you with all those kind of stuff. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Vamshi.
Guinea is asking, do you provide any reference? We don't have any reference because ours is not like a software. We are a training company, but we are not running any projects. I think maybe, but we can look for some workaround with the help of Vamshi. Vamshi has good network of people from UK, USA. Maybe I'll try to talk to Vamshi if we can get some reference from his friends.
Yeah, sure, sir. I'll definitely share some kind of
Please.
openings and other kind of stuff as well. So,
Yes.
guys, there are a lot of job openings in US and across the globe here. So, I'll be sharing you with all those kind of insights as well.
Right. And Abdul is asking, is there a one-to-one coverage to clear the doubts? Abdul, definitely. You can ask the doubts in the class. After the class, you can ask. You can ask in the WhatsApp group. For example, in the worst case, Vamsi is not responding. I'm the point of contact. You can directly call me. I work for 16, 17 hours a day, including Saturdays and Sundays. Okay. So you can directly call me as well. Full support is there. And you have some previous students who will be volunteering and giving you the helping hand as well. So tons of support we are talking about.
I again have a question, Vamshi, and even for
Yes.
you, Lakshmi, is that um, it is very emphatically mentioned here that obviously, if you take 2 months of training and get the hands-on experience, it will get you ready for the interview or the companies. But being in Australia for a while and trying to understand this market and reaching out to some of the people, they are like the first thing which people want to like the job. The interviewers, they want to know that because when we apply for a job, we need to state there that what are the certifications you have. So there are probably around 7 certifications in the associate one. So and because we're getting into a data entry thing, and data entry is a vast ocean. So what kind of certification we can attempt there? Because I understand that hands-on experience is very much required in order to crack the interview, showing so many years of experience. But when I go there and say that, okay, I have a certification, what certifications can I attempt on the associate level here then?
All right. So, the certification we're speaking about is DP203. So, that is your main certification regarding this one. Let me show you this. All right. Okay. So this is the certification I'm speaking about, DP203, Microsoft Certified Azure Data Engineer Associate. So this is
Okay.
the associate kind of certification you need to attempt. So if you clear this one, so you would be called as an associate Azure Data Engineer. And again, so this I think will cost you 165 US dollars. And this has concepts here. Okay. So we'll be covering this kind of things here. Azure Data Factory, Synapse, Stream, Event Hubs, Data Lake Storage, and Databricks. So these are the exact concepts which we have in our course contents as well. And as I told you, so so we'll also be covering this one. So we'll also be learning SQL, Python, and Spark as well.
Mm. So because SQL, Python, those are again, I would say regarding of Python, it's actually a very vast one. So we'd only require learn something in Python which is only applicable for this one, or would be going way depth into that one?
No,
Because
no, no.
I have
Let me
no,
tell you.
yeah. Mm,
Yeah, so whatever is required for as a data engineer, right? Those kind of concepts will be discussing, will be learning, and that itself is enough. I mean, because see, as you told, Python is now used for different kinds of application specific requirements there. Okay, so we do not require all those kind of stuff here. So whatever is required for a data engineer, okay, so we'll be discussing and we'll be learning those kind of concepts.
okay. And if we are doing data engineering Microsoft one. So before that, does data Azure data fundamental needs to be cracked, or Azure fundamental needs to, because wouldn't that be a pathway, or we jump on that? Those includes those two under that one.
Let me tell you, Azure fundamentals is not at all a path for this one. So this requires
Okay.
some kind of data fundamentals here. Okay, so let me show you
All
even
right.
that. Let me show you. I'll clear your down. See, Azure data certification path here. So you might be working in some kind of okay, so data engineer here. Okay, so the other kind of data roles are data scientist and data analyst kind of thing. So for all these kind of roles, data fundamentals are essential. So which is part of a course as well. Okay, so this is the kind of thing they will be asking you in interviews as well in real time kind of things, not the Azure fundamentals kind of certifications. So they will not ask you such kind of things. But again, if they ask you, tell them that yes, of course. I mean, so I know this kind of stuff here. So anyways, I will also be covering this one as well.
Okay. Not a problem.
Yes,
Right.
Clemson,
So,
go on with your question, please.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. I have a question. I know I'm the one that asks about Azure fundamental. Um, I'm a class system engineer, and I work majorly on AWS. And why do I ask about Azure fundamentals? I know that where I working previously, um, I don't know anything about Azure. I learned a little about Azure from there, how to create user groups and all of that, and add user to create roles and things like that. Like we have in AWS, cloud AWS certified cloud practitioner is like the preliminary for anybody that wants to go into AWS cloud. And without adequate knowledge of AWS cloud, I don't think there's anything without adequate fundamentals of the cloud practitioner. Yeah, I don't think there's anything you can do in AWS not knowing the services that AWS offer. You understand? So that's why I asked initially. Azure fundamental is like a proprietary class. That's what I think. So if it's not going to be taught, I don't really know anything about data science. I wanted to ask a question like, is it like RDS working on MySQL, Postgre or something? So those are my two questions. Number one, my concern is that Azure fundamentals, at least you can log into your Azure account, you can create a user that you are going to start working on, like probably, I don't know what they call it, like IAM in AWS, and be able to do something programmatically. So that's why I asked about, will Azure fundamentals be taught? Thank you.
Hmm.
Yes, Clemson. Okay, so Azure fundamentals will also be taught as part of this course. So as I told you, so I mean, starting sessions would be covered on Azure fundamentals and data fundamentals here. So need not worry. So you'll be given some good. Okay, so you'll get to know what is Azure and what kind of services it is offering you, and again, what kind of stuff we deal with. Everything will be covered here.
so Vamshi, Firoz is asking, are we going to cover Scala?
No, Scala is not required. Anyways, we'll be learning with Spark, right? Okay, so let me tell you, Databricks is one such kind of platform. You can work with any kind of API there. So, but again, in real world scenarios, a lot of things will be performed using Spark here, not Scala. So
Okay,
we'll be learning Spark.
cool. Thank you very much. Maybe just a question from Vidya. We're coming to an end. Hi, Vidya.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Good morning.
Good morning. Just a beautiful workshop today. Vamshi, I think thank you for that. I think my just a question is, from my perspective, I've been a quality assurance in the quality assurance industry for the last 20 years, and never had any exposure towards data engineering or data analytics and things like that. So now, after doing this course, I acquired the certification. How how will I be able to change my profile to apply for data engineering jobs because I don't have any kind of experience in that area. And obviously, when I'm applying for jobs, people actually look at my LinkedIn profile, my CV, and stuff like that. So, how would I transform my CV from a QA kind of a role towards a data engineering role?
Right. We need to tweak it, Vidya. So definitely a lot of tweaking is required. Maybe it won't be really good to talk directly on the recording, but after the recording, you can call me or Vamshi. We will guide you.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
Thank you. All right. So Baptiste, sorry for keep you waiting. I'm sorry. Yeah, please, it's your turn now.
Yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. I was just my question is based on the I would like to know, are there possibilities of finding volunteering, like benevolence type of job in this field of data engineering? That was my first
Yeah.
question. And my
Hmm.
second question is, are we going to have access to this screen recording? Because at some point in the beginning, you started the screen recording. Are we going to have access to that, or I
Yep.
just want to,
So the
yeah.
the entire webinar I'm going to upload in the YouTube channel, and I will be sending you that link as well to all of you so that you can watch any number of times. Yes, no
Okay.
problem at all. Okay, Baptiste.
Yeah, what about the first question? Yeah,
The first question sorry, can
was
you please
about
repeat that?
volunteering. Was about
Oh,
volunteer if there are
volunteering.
volunteering opportunities.
We need to try. We need to try. Okay, just 1 minute. You are in USA?
I'm in Canada right now.
You are in Canada. Okay, so just go to the jobs and then just say Azure Data Engineer, and then we are talking about Canada here. Search. So these are all the jobs that got posted 4 days ago. This last, and then try to filter it out. Maybe entry level volunteer, or maybe like an internship, or maybe entry level, or sometimes these are all the maybe the basic entry level. Like this got posted 1 hour ago. Okay, you can see here data engineer, and yeah. So just go through the job portals or in the internet also you can directly try. Sometimes you can try and target when you're talking about volunteer, right? You can target even in United States as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have few students who are able to do that as well. So you can just go to volunteer, executive, not yeah, entry level volunteer kind of a jobs.
Okay, thank you very
Okay,
much. Yeah,
cool,
the
no
reason
problem.
where I asked is based on experience. It can help us, especially after the course, to gain
Yep,
more experience in the workplace.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
basically that was the reason. Thank
yep,
you.
yep. Right. Vishwanath, yes, remote jobs are available. Vishwanath, after this COVID nowadays. Yeah, Vishwanath, where are you from? Oh, you're from Bangalore. Okay, yeah. In India, I think in India, the culture is a little bit trending towards more of a hybrid. Like, they're asking everyone to come to office. But please check it on the LinkedIn and other portals. I can also share it offline to you as well. All right, Tayo,
Yeah,
TYO,
hi,
Tayo.
Lakshmi.
Hi,
Yeah,
hi.
Lakshmi. Yeah, hi.
Yes,
Okay, so
yes,
the timing for Eastern, I'm
yes.
even 2 hours behind Eastern time, right?
5 o'clock, five
So
o'clock to 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.
yeah, so I'm 2 hours behind Eastern. That's like 3 a.m.
Oh,
I
you are
think
in
yeah,
Mountain Time?
yeah, I'm in Mountain Time.
Mountain
Now
Time is
I
what?
think
3 o'clock.
I've done Scrum training with you
Yeah.
before, maybe like
Mm,
2 years ago.
yep.
But now I think this time around, is it your standard time or you've not been able to pick like a golden time to cover, people in North America properly? Because even 5 a.m. Eastern time,
Yeah.
somebody would need to be awake at 5. So
Yeah.
have you thought of it? Just
Uh,
my
uh,
question.
right. Unfortunately, with the consideration, because we have the students coming from Australia and from USA, this is a bit the common time slot because your early mornings are our evenings here. So both the parties can join from both parts of the world. which is a little bit convenient. And any time changes here, so other region people, they are sleeping or they're going to work. So we are trying to bring all of them to a common time slot. And Vamshi is like, it's very hard to get Vamshi's time in the sense like, because he's really occupied and he's currently working in Microsoft. And for him, doing the other timings is not becoming convenient for him as well. So
Okay,
unfortunately, this is
thank
the
you.
only time to. Okay, and that is also the reason we are recording each and every live class, sharing the recording, and providing a continuous support. Okay, good job. Thank you. Yes, Rinesh. Yeah. So Abdul is asking, will there be any projects? Yes, there are some projects, 4 projects. Vamshi has already drafted in the document, and I'm going to send you the document as well to all of you. Maybe if you want, I can directly drop the document in the WhatsApp chat so that all of you can download at your end. Course content cannot be sent, is currently is in use. Okay, file. Okay, just 1 minute. Send. Yeah, I email you the PDF document. You can do that. Any final questions, team?
I will ask you a question if permissible. So, we went through when Vamshi created a pipeline and extracted the file and so on and so forth, because it was the first time, it was a bit overwhelming. Would it be given because I mean, I believe most of us, or I don't know, for myself at least, this is the first time I would be jumping into this pipeline and all that stuff.
Even
Would we
even
be
for me
given
as also
step
it
by
is
step?
overwhelmed. Yes, yes, of course, Mitesh, because it is just a webinar, right? So I just asked him to jump in because it's already a live environment that is already going for the previous batch. So he just gave us the glimpse, but step by step, in if right from the account creation, everything will be given
So,
and there will be proper documentation.
okay. So, Mitesh, everything will be handled here from scratch, as I told you. So, how to build the
Okay.
concept of the pipeline. So, what you need to do before this and what kind of objects you need to create, everything. I'll tell you step by step kind of thing. So, need not worry. Okay. So, you'll be
All right.
learning
All right.
everything from scratch.
Okay. So we don't have to, there's no prerequisite as such. We should know something before jumping into the course, right? We can just jump in with a blank slate and would be taught step by step, isn't it?
Yes. So,
Oh,
anyway, see, we are also covering SQL. So, for people who do not know SQL, so it will be okay. So, best start for them. Okay. So, if you know SQL, that's okay. That the only thing required actually.
okay. No coding language as of such, because data engineering is something which I was being told that coding language is a must. And my main concern is the coding thing. I think I've reached to the point of my early 40s. So it's like, will coding would be an essential part in terms of, you know, so that was is my main concern before jumping into this course.
Okay, so let me tell you this. Okay, so coding is not at all a worry for this one. Okay, so because we'll be anyways learning Python and Spark as well. So we do not require any hard coding kind of things here. So only data analysis part you require as part of Python and Spark as well. So which will also be covered as part of this course. So you'll be learning everything step by step here. Okay, so need not worry for that.
And also, Vamshi,
Thank
maybe it will be handy for these people if you can help the new joiners who are especially from the non-IT background. Maybe with the help of ChatGPT, we can generate the code and then you help
Yes,
them
yes,
how
of
to little
course.
bit tweak it. Yeah, that will be
Yes,
very
yes, of
easy.
course. Yes. Yeah.
With that, with all the AI tools in hand, I think the coding is
Yeah.
becoming very easy nowadays. Thank
thanks,
you.
Vamshi.
That's all. Thank you, Mitesh. Thank you, everyone. Any final questions before we close the call? It's already getting 2 hours. Thank you for your time. 1, 2, 3. All good. Thank you, all of you, for joining this wonderful webinar and sacrificing your family time on Saturday evening and Sunday morning here in Australia. We hope you got the value add that you invested for your time. And if any of you are interested in registering for the training, so please do reach me on my WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is there in the chat. So and yeah, regarding the payments and all those things, you don't need to really worry. And if any of you need, like, hey, Lakshmi, we need to understand, we need to have a real time 1 or 2 classes, and we want to decide that also, that option is also I'm giving, which means that you can join the live classes starting from tomorrow, join one day, second day, and then you can decide as well. No problem. So from my side, from Vamshi side, full support is there and a continuous support is assured. All right, team. With this, a big thank you from the bottom of my heart for joining
Thank you,
this
guys.
webinar.
Yeah.
Thank you, Vamshi, to you as well,
Thank you,
and
everyone.
stopping the recording. Yep.
Thank